to us about what experience you had that you brought into this that allowed you to help to grow this. Kind of, guess,
Yeah.
talk to us.
Well, I got my master's degree from the School of Hard Knocks, and I learned on the fly. I was always starting businesses and stopping them. So I
Mm,
became an expert at beginning, but not an expert at follow through. And one of the things I hope your listeners hear me say, something that I heard Donnell Jones say, you have to follow up, follow through, and finish or fail.
mm,
And I was not good at those steps. I wasn't good at following up, following through, and finishing. I could start. I became an expert on beginning, but following through was not my ministry. And so I learned over the process how to begin a business, but not to finish one. And so God was waking me up every day at 3:17 in the morning. I would wake up like clockwork every night, and I would go turn on my TV if I couldn't sleep. And I heard this man on the television. His name was Wayne Dyer. He said, "The morning breeze has something to tell you. Do not go back to sleep." And essentially, what he was saying is, this is the most silent time that God can get your full attention, and He wants to speak to you. And so I began to get up with intentionality to meet God at
mm.
3:17 to see what God had to say. But I didn't really know how to hear God. So I got to tap into God. I'm here. I'm trying to hear whatever it is you have to say. Please don't speak, because if you do, I'm running straight out of the room. But I do want to hear you. And so I saw a Bible sitting on the coffee table, and so I picked it up, I opened it up, and I got my first word from God, my first indication that God loved me and He was about to show me as I went through the Bible at 3:17. And by that, I mean, I thought there must be something to the fact that I was being awakened at 3:17 and I needed to use it. So I opened up the Bible to wherever it would fall. I went to chapter 3 in that book and started at verse 17. And I began to read the whole entire Bible that way, cross-referencing verses back and forth until they would create a complete loop. And I would write feverishly everything that I learned. And it was there that God gave me all the instructions for what I was going to need to open up the Cupcake Collection, which is my bakery business that I've been running with my children for the last 15 years.
The Cupcake Collection, folks. We're gonna make sure you get the website and all of the stuff, because if you are anywhere close to Nashville or New Orleans, you need to go. And outside of that, you need to place your order so that they can ship it to you. So,
Mhm.
Mignon, you're something, I don't know if I've heard you say this before, that you started other businesses. I never heard that
Mhm.
before. So, kind of talk to us
Yeah.
about kind of what you look at, maybe some of the lessons from those, and what
Yeah.
made the Cupcake Collection different.
Well, it's just what I said. I learned from those other businesses how to start, but not how to finish. And the thing that made it different that I followed through. So what I learned is that I don't follow up, I don't follow through, I don't finish. That's why I fail. What
Mhm.
I learned, what caused me to do something different was, as God was waking me up, one of the last Bible verses I read was in Deuteronomy 30:19 and Joshua 1:9. Those were about the last few verses I read. And God said, I set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Choose life so that your
Mm,
family might live.
mm,
And what I understood was God was saying, I've been giving you business idea after business idea after business idea. And you say you need money and you say you need to make the ends meet, but I give you ideas and you do nothing with it.
mm.
So I'm not giving you anything else. This idea that I've given you in the wee hours of the morning, it is the last idea I'm going to give you. So choose life
Mm,
so that your family can live.
I love
And
it.
since then, God has allowed me to be wildly successful with this business, but also to be able to share my story with other people so that they would know what they could do if they believe,
Yeah.
so that they can know what they could do. I promise God, if you will make me successful at this, I will tell anybody who will listen about what they could do if only they believe.
Yeah. that concept of belief is one that I'm myself learning to step into, believing not just in who God is and his personhood and even what God can do, but that God will do it for me.
Mhm.
Right? Was there a time when you had to just, okay, you know what? I see stories of other people, right? And there are all these wonderful stories, but me, you had to overcome that doubt that God would do it for Mignon.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that people need to understand that God is not a respecter of persons.
Mhm.
And by that, I mean that if you see someone else having it, doing it, being it, living it, experiencing it, it means you can have it, do it, be it, live it, experience it. It's not just for that person, it's for anybody who's willing to accept the invitation. The
Mhm.
fact that you see me doing it means you also can do it.
That's real. That's real. Now, I want you to take us back a little bit. You said 17 years, and I'm sure along the way there have been some inflection points, some obstacles. What were some obstacles in the early stages of the Cupcake Collection that you had to face, and how did you overcome them?
Well, first of all, we had a cash flow issue in our household. We
Mhm.
opened up a business in the midst of an economic downturn, doing the very thing that's known for failing, a food business.
Mm.
What food businesses are known for more than anything else is failure. While I'm losing my house, it's up for foreclosure on the day that I open the business.
Mm.
We don't have food, we don't have electricity and water on a regular basis. And I decide to open up a cupcake business when I don't know how to bake. But it was practicing the recipes in my kitchen and applying every stupid thing that I had ever had to do before to this moment. I had gone to school to become a doctor, failing, flunking out my chemistry classes. But right here in this moment in my kitchen, it all made sense.
Mhm.
Like I got it. When I needed to get it, I got it.
Mm.
And so I think that every stupid thing you've ever had to do is taking you from where you are to where it is that you want to be. And yes, you're gonna need all kinds of equipment. You might need some drones for your video
Yeah.
company. You might need cars for your limousine company. You might need vacuums and brooms and all kinds of cleaners for your housekeeping company.